Cupid. We are outside today with this noise in the background, and my notes off my phone because my notes were given to Marley in her backpack, and they are not with me anymore. So we're going off notes on the phone, loud ass sound in the background. Outside, I see my house, so we're back at my parents' crib, hanging out for a little while before we buy some land and build a house on it. Um, UFC Vegas 12 coming up, making their way back to Vegas after the short stint in Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. The main card will start with Bobby Green versus Thiago Moraes. Bobby Green, I believe, is 3-0 in 2020. Decision wins over Clay Guida, Lando Venata, Alan Patrick. Looks like 17 out of his 27 wins via finish, 9 submissions, 8 knockouts. He's had kind of a back and forth career up until 2020, but he is making the best out of. He has had one of the best records of 2020 so far in the UFC. He's doing really well. He's got a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's going up against Thiago Moraes, who has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he has slight advantage on the ground. He's coming off a one-fight winning streak with a submission win over Michael Johnson. Before that, he lost the decision to Damir Ismagulov. 6 out of his 13 wins are via submission, 3 by TKO, and he's never been finished in his career, which kind of plays into Bobby Green having 10 decision wins in his career. He knows how to point something out and make it to the final rounds. Moraes is only 2-2 in the UFC. Like we said, wins over Michael Johnson and Kurt Holbrook, and then losses to Beneil Dariush and Damir Ismagulov. This fight, I believe, is going to go, Bobby Green is going to be able to outstrike him, keep it standing. And if he is able to keep the fight standing, it's going to be an easy win for Bobby Green. If he gets taken down, I think it depends mostly on how well he gets held down, if he's able to get back up quick or what happens there. I completely forgot to do a sound check, so I might be talking to myself right now. No, I'm not. That's a good thing. But I got Bobby Green in that fight by decision. Maurice Green versus Greg Hardy's a good fight. Complete clash of styles. Green 9-4, 5 wins by submission. He's coming off a submission win over John Vellante in June. He's only been knocked out once. He's only been submitted once. That knockout was against Sergey Pavlovich, and that submission was against Alexei Oleinik, which was in January of 2020. His second to last fight. He is 4-2 in the UFC. Like we said, a bunch of those being submissions. A blue belt in jiu-jitsu against under Brock Larson, and he'll be going up against heavy-handed Greg Hardy, who has had kind of a rocky start to his UFC career. What's this? 3-2-1 in the UFC career. His first loss was a disqualification for an illegal knee to Alan Crowder. He then picked up 2 TKOs against Dmitry Smolikov and Juan Adams. No contest, which was a win over Ben Sassoli, which got overturned because he used an inhaler in between rounds. Not allowed to do that. Decision loss to Alexander Volkov followed that, and then following that, in May of 2020, he had a decision win over Yorgan De Castro. He's got a lot of power in his hands. He's pretty decent when it comes to cardio. Of course, he has those issues where he needs an inhaler. So, I mean, how great could his cardio really be? But never really been tested as his jiu-jitsu. He's never really been tested on his back or anything like that. Going up against Maurice Green, Green's going to have a lot of opportunities to try to take him down. Green's a slightly bigger fighter, 6'7" versus 6'5". And, he's got a good chance to be able to take Greg Hardy down. The question will be, again, is Greg Hardy going to be able to get up? Is he going to show his inexperience in jiu-jitsu? Or is he going to be able to keep the fight standing and land his power punches? I'm going to bet on landing the power punches. Greg Hardy's punches are powerful. They've put out some really dangerous guys. Juan Adams, Yorgan De Castro. What was his name right before that? Smolikov, very good chin. So, I'm going to go Greg Hardy, probably TKO first or second round in that one. Kevin Holland is back, one of the most busiest guys in the UFC. A 6'3" middleweight who was on a 3-fight winning streak all in 2020. a TKO over Anthony Hernandez, another TKO over Joe Quinn Buckley, who was famous for that spin kick knockout to Impact Kasaganai, and then a split decision win over Darren Stewart in his most recent fight. 15 out of his 19 wins are finishes, 9 TKOs, 6 submissions. He's never been TKO'd in his life, and he's only been submitted twice. Whereas I believe he is fighting Makhmad Muradov, who, let's see, another 6'3" guy, pretty tall middleweight, 24-6 is his record. He's currently on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fight winning streak, 3 of those being in the UFC, or 2 of those being in the UFC, with a decision over Alessio De Chirico and a TKO over Trevor Smith. Significantly lower skill level than Kevin Holland there. I want to look at this because I believe he's got more. Yeah, 16 wins by TKO, 3 by submission. He's been submitted 3 times and TKO'd once. So I believe this is going to be a standing fight. I believe they're going to try to stand and bang. Kevin Holland is going to be getting in his ear, talking all that shit. And I show a little favoritism towards Holland because I like the guy. I spoke to him a few times here and there, but I'm going to go Kevin Holland regardless of what fight he's in. This fight, I actually do think, though, is very, very winnable for Holland. And it just depends on what kind of game plan he implements coming into the fight. I got Kevin Holland in that one. Andre Fili, Bryce Mitchell, which I feel like should be the main event. An aging Anderson Silva. While, Anderson Silva is Anderson Silva, it's great to see him in the main event. I think that Bryce Mitchell and Andre Fili is going to be a banger that could have been headlining this card. 21-7 is Andre Fili. His 2020 is 1-1 with a decision loss to Sodiq Yusuff, and then a split decision win over Charles Jourdain. He's got 12 wins by finish, 9 TKOs, 3 submissions. Not really heavy on the grappling game. He's really good at picking his shots, standing up Team Alpha Male. They're always really good strikers over there. Yeah, he's had a really good career. He's got wins over Shaman Moraes, Miles Jury, Dennis Bermudez, Artem Lobov, Hakran Diaz, Gabriel Benitez. And he's only really lost to top-level competition. Yair Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, Michael Johnson, Sodiq Yusuff. These are all really good either stars or prospects that he's losing to. So nothing to take away from there. Bryce Mitchell, the black belt in jiu-jitsu, who has 9 wins by submission out of his 13-0 record and 4 by decision. Of course, on a 13-fight winning streak because he's never lost. 1, 2, 3, 4-0 in the UFC with a decision win over Tyler Diamond and Bobby Moffitt. Twister submission win over Matt Sales, and then a decision win over jiu-jitsu heavy Charles Rosa back in May 2020. So this guy is going to want to get it to the ground quick. He's got really dominant wrestling, really dominant takedowns. And then once he gets you down there, you're going for ride after ride after ride after ride. And he's going to keep switching submission after submission after submission until he finally locks one up and the fight's over. I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell on that one as well. Uriah Hall, Anderson Silva, I think it's going to be easy. I'll go ahead and give you my pick. Uriah Hall, obvious, 15-9, 11 wins by TKO. Currently on a 2-fight winning streak with a knockout over Bavon Lewis on December of 2018, and then a split decision win over Antonio Carlos Jr. in September of 2019. So over a year ago was Uriah Hall's last fight. Uriah Hall also has wins over Gegard Mousasi, who he's 1-1 against, Thiago Santos, and Chris Lieben. We can go on and on about the guys that Anderson Silva has beaten in his career, but what we're most significantly going to look at is that since 2013, Anderson Silva is 1-6-1, with his only win coming to Derek Brunson 2017, and his only win before that coming to Stephan Bonner in 2012 before he lost the title to Chris Weidman. Since he beat Stephan Bonner, he has got knocked out by Chris Weidman, broke his leg against Chris Weidman, beat Nick Diaz, but it got overturned to a no contest because of steroids. Lost to Michael Bisping by decision, lost to Daniel Cormier by decision. Of course, he got that win over Derek Brunson. Lost to Adesanya, and then got knocked out by Jared Cannonier in May of 2019, over a year ago. 34-10, 22 knockouts in his career. He's a legend of the sport. Back in his heyday, he had wins over Bonner, Chael Sonnen, and Yushin Okami, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen twice, actually, Damian Maia, Forrest Griffin, Patrick Cote, James Urban, Dan Henderson, Rich Franklin twice, Travis Lutter, Nate Marquardt, Chris Lieben. He's fought the best of the best. He had a very long run at middleweight, was called the GOAT for a really long time for good reason. I just think it's a little far past, how old is he? Let's look. 45 years old. He's a little far past over the hill. And I think a guy like Uriah Hall striking is definitely not going to match up well with Anderson Silva. I'm going to go Uriah Hall, probably by decision, though. It's probably going to be a really boring fight, similar to Adesanya versus Silva, where nobody really wants to hurt the pride and joy Anderson Silva, but they're going to beat him. Rest of the card lines up as Chris Grutzemacher versus Alexander Hernandez, Adrian Yanez versus Victor Rodriguez, Sean Strickland versus Jack Marshman, Cole Williams versus Jason Witt, Dustin Jacoby versus Justin Ledette, Courtney Casey, Priscilla Cachoeira, and Miles Johns versus Kevin Natividad. November 7th will be the next card after this weekend. We got Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira on that card. Ian Heinisch, Brendan Allen. Trevin Giles going to be fighting Bavon Lewis. Max Griffin's on the card. Diego Fajea's on the card fighting Drew Dober. Tanner Boser versus Andrei Arlovsky is a good fight. Darren Elkins is back. Jack Shore is back. Marcus Rogero de Lima's fighting Alexander Romanov. Arnold Allen is trying to get a fight on there. I think they're trying to set something up. Claudia Gadelha is fighting on the card. Pretty good card for the November 7th card. Let me see if they beefed up my birthday card at all, November 14th, or if it's still pretty weak. Like I said, I say weak very lightly. Islam Makhachev RDA is a pretty good fight that's on that one. Dontel Mays, Rodriguez Martinez, Jeffrey Molina. There's some good fights on there. I'm not too mad at it. Those are the picks for this week. It's NYK all day, every second of every day. You already know what it is. Enjoy the fight this weekend. Meet me back here next Tuesday. We'll talk about the fights, the Santos Teixeira fights. Till then, stay barbecue, fellas.